All right, it is Friday, and as you know, on Friday we do a financial news wrap up with Mr. Michael Zuber. How are you, Michael?
I'm doing great, man. I look forward to this every week, as I say. Yes.
I do too. It was a busy week, so honestly, I gotta say I love watching the daily shows that you do.
Mm-hmm.
This week was really busy, so I didn't get the chance to watch as much as I'd like. So it's great that Fridays we get to do this wrap up.
Yes.
Tell us what's going on, inflation.
Yeah. So again, I think what we've been talking about every week for seemingly the last 6 months is inflation is here, and we've said you can go back and watch that inflation is higher than being reported. We talked about rent and these other things not yet hitting the numbers, and they are just starting. Inflation at 5.4%. The latest report is low. It is certainly higher. In fact, on my daily financial news show today, I asked everyone to put in the comments, give me your inflation story. One person put in his Subway order went from $7 to $10. One person talked about first time he had $100 gas tank, and just all these things going on. Inflation is real. Inflation hits everyone. Inflation is an unfair tax. It hits the poor more than the rich. And oh, by the way, we're talking about spending a lot more money. So get ready. We're not done yet.
Yeah, really interesting too, because I know that something I said pre-roll, but it's so true that you've been talking about this all year, and here it is. Now we're in mid to late October, and now we're starting to really see it talked about in the mainstream media, in the main news, and in the main channels. So spot on, man. I love following you, and you've really got your finger on the pulse. Let's talk about Fed tapering, and just I think too for the viewer, just a little recap. What is tapering?
Yeah,
a lot of talk this week about Fed tapering. Tell us what that's about.
Yeah, so essentially, without question, one of the reasons we have low mortgage rates is because the Fed has stepped in and buying 100 billion or 80 billion, whatever the number is, mortgage-backed securities. Basically, they have told banks, give me all you got, we will buy them. Because the Fed doesn't have to make a profit, it has allowed rates to go low. Rates were below 3% for a lot of this pandemic. Now that they're tapering, they're basically taking away the alcohol from the punch bowl. And because they, as the main buyer don't need to make a profit, rates are low, that buyer goes away, people have to make a profit, and rates have already gone up. Just the talk of tapering has caused rates to move. Yesterday, Thursday, I was talking with Matt, the mortgage guy, another expert, and rates went up an eighth. They went up what he calls 39 basis points. That is mumbo jumbo to all of us. Rough and tough, that is an eighth. Mortgages went up an eighth in a day. That is not normal. This is us getting back to a normal rate. And one of the reasons I have said that we have been given a gift as real estate investors is because rates should not have been this low, but they are. So why argue? Go lock up the money. That's why I spent the last year getting 30-year money on everything, because I knew they had to taper eventually. And now they are. And just the sheer talk of it happening is happening. So they will buy less. They will step out of the market. The market will reset, and it will reset higher. And higher rates mean higher mortgage payments, and the real estate slowdown picks up steam.
Interesting. Very interesting. You've been talking about that all year as well, the real estate slowdown. So speaking of slowdowns, let's talk about unemployment. What's happening there in unemployment numbers?
Yeah, so every Thursday we get unemployment claims, and they've been horrific for 15 months or whatever it is. The last 2 weeks, though, have been pretty awesome. We finally broke below 300,000, and this week just reported was a new low. I think last week was 296, and this week is 290. So again, the trend is forming in a downward direction. So net that's good. Continuing claims is down as well. So we're healing, not as fast as anybody wants, but we're certainly healing.
We're healing for sure. Let me ask you just a sidebar question and a thought. Something I have heard lately in the last couple of weeks in the news, where they're talking about vaccination requirements for people going back to work, and/or people that are back to work, if you don't have vaccination by certain deadlines, cutoffs, November, end of October, mid-November, that basically they're going to be fired or terminated and things like that. Do you see any significant movement in the unemployment numbers based on the vaccination requirements alone, or how do you see that playing out?
Well, there's a couple of things about the unemployment number that we need to recognize, and why it may not show up in the data, but yet I think it's very important, right? One of the things that will happen if you, at least as I understand it today, your company requires it, you refuse to take it, you are terminated for cause. You actually, again, I could be totally wrong, but what I have read is those individuals cannot file unemployment claims. Right now, maybe that's not true in all states. Maybe that's not true in all situations, but that's what I have read. So it may not have as much of an impact as it should. However, I absolutely think vaccine mandates are forcing people to make choices. Many people are choosing to step out or find something different. To get a real life example, I think it was last weekend, Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines had a mandate. I think it was for their pilots and flight attendants to be vaccinated by a certain date. Their employees decided to have a day where they didn't feel so well, called a sick out. And, it wasn't all of them, but it was enough in a stretched supply chain to have them cancel like 5,000 flights, something horrific. And then they didn't have people to take calls. And right. So again, when you're working in a supply chain that is so tight and you take 10, 15, 20, 30% of people and go, I don't want to do it. It's my body, my choice. And forget you. This is still America and it's a free choice. I'll go somewhere else. Yeah. It will have an impact. There is no question. There's a big fight in Chicago for the police, and there's a big fight in San Francisco about a freaking In-N-Out burger. Right.
I saw that too.
You have a choice. At least in the United States, you have a choice. And if you choose not to do it, that is your choice. So it will have an impact, probably more on the supply chain than unemployment, given just how the math and the system works. I think it's a bad idea, but it's your body, your choice, right?
We will see. We will keep an eye on how this plays out and if it affects. Again, it was interesting because the supply chain, I think some people may have forgotten, but the supply chain is so temperamental. When we had COVID first hit, the whole idea of toilet paper,
remember
the whole idea of supplies and such, or even right now with automobiles, supply chain is a real thing.
Yeah, I mean, just think about the supply chain, right? And our president came out and made a big deal about Long Beach going 24 hours. We're going to fix it. We're going to fix it. Right now, truckers, right? Truckers are a problem. And if you mandated truckers, which I think some people are, to get vaccinated, and you lose as little as 10%, just the supply chain shatters because you just can't get there. So it's an interesting time.
It's an interesting time for sure. Let's move forward to the inventory. What are you seeing right now with inventory nationally? And what are your thoughts there?
I was shocked on this one again. So again, interest rates are generally ticking up. They had a little down spot. Sales picked up for the month of September, but inventory went down. That surprised me. It didn't go down a lot, but the fact it went down surprised me, because we are seeing days on market expand, because again, as we've said for a while, people remember what their neighbor sold for, so they want that price or higher. The market is different. Real estate slowdown. It's the winter. But so we're seeing price drops and days on market expand, but actual inventory went down because we don't have that bottom tier of the market. The affordable home is not there. First-time home buyers made up the smallest percentage ever. I want to say it was 28. It might have been 26%. Usually it's 34 or 36%. And the reason that is happening is there's no inventory at the bottom, and most of the transactions are at the top. So it is a very tough time being a first-time buyer today, and especially as prices keep high.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because we haven't talked about it in a while, but the whole what you just described is wealth gap, part of the whole idea of K-shaped recovery. So
well done. Yes, the K-shaped recovery.
So with the inventory, let's just go back to inventory and interest rates.
Sure.
So we talked about this, I feel like, in the last 2 or 3 weeks. But again, very 1970s feel right now in terms of cycles. Mm-hmm. We could see interest rates creep up over the next 3, 6, 12 months.
Yeah. Oh, I think you will. My guess is you will. Again, it's a guess, but yeah, I think interest rates are higher this time next year. I can't imagine they're lower, but maybe.
Yep, interest rates go up. And then also too, with interest rates going up, though, we can see with inventories, if inventory stays low, we still can see appreciation.
You absolutely can. Yeah. Again, go back and look at the 1970s. It is very clear. Interest rates went up 320 basis points. They went up 33% and prices doubled. Now, why did they double? Because of wages. And what cycle are we in, folks? Without question, I keep hitting this drum. I keep beating up. We are in a cycle that is driven by wage inflation. The Fed's beige report just came out and talked about frontline jobs and first line jobs and all of this up 10, 20, 25%, bonus this, bonus that. It is a competition to get employees. And the only way to do it is pay more money. So as that ripples through the cycle and wage inflation is very slow, but very real, wages are going to go up. Your rents are going to go up. You can buy more houses, and it's just a nasty cycle.
Interesting. Well, we're going to keep our eye, obviously keep watching the daily news. Love all the content. Thank you for all that you do. I want to we talked a little bit about you're doing something special with the new book. You obviously have the original book, One Rental at a Time. There's the second book, which is your expert series with all your millionaires. Tell us, what are you doing special with the autograph special?
Yeah. So something I wanted to do, right? First off, I never thought I would write one book, let alone write two books. I wrote the second book for you, the first book for me. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to give back, right? One rental at a time has grown bigger than I could have ever imagined. We're impacting lives every day. The amount of messages and good vibes coming my way it's like real emotional capital. So what I wanted to do is offer autograph specials. So I bought 100 of each of these on Amazon, right? $35, $15, $50 total. I bought them. What I want to do is I want to sell the 100 for $50, so no markup, and I'll ship them to people. And what I'm doing is I'm autographing them, and I'm putting a nice personal note in each book. So if you want these, I basically give you my PayPal account. You send the $50, include your address, and I think I've got 64 left. I've already in 48 hours, 36 are gone. I got 64 more. When that's gone, they're gone. But yeah, it was my way to go back. It was a way for me to goose numbers on this, right? I bought $100 at retail. So yeah, it's a way for me to give back because I don't need 100 of these. I've kept a couple, but I don't need 100. So let me autograph them and send them out.
I love it. And so where do they go under the website, or where would they go to?
So what you need to do is you need to go to most people are going to my Instagram, One Rental at a Time, saying, hey, I want the book special. I give you my email, which is connected to my PayPal. And then I get your address and I mail once a day. I've been going to the post office every day. I've mailed 36 already. So yeah, it's not, I may put them on my website eventually, but this is something I just came up with because I wanted to goose the sales, frankly. So I bought $100 books at retail, $35. So now I'm giving them away for the same price.
I love it. I love it. So very cool. So go to Michael's Instagram. What's cool too, and I would suggest for everybody out there, if you already have the book or you ordered the book directly from Amazon, take a picture of it.
Yes, please.
You on it and send the picture, tag Michael.
I love that.
You.
Yeah.
Every time you repost stuff, Michael, I notice you get more followers, more engagement, more great conversations with like-minded real estate investors. So
yeah, one of my favorite posts my creators did, and you saw it. You were your snapshot. We did I think it was a 27-second video of DJ Khaled and Ludacris. All we do is win. All the book selfies. That I looked at that like 50 times. That was awesome.
Super cool. I reposted it as well. So yes. Michael, thank you for all that you do. Again, if you want the book special, the autograph special, go to Michael's Instagram. You can get on there. There's a link. You can connect with him, send him PayPal. There's no markup. He's going to send you a personalized autograph book. Thank you so much for all that you do, Michael.
Take care, man.
Have a great day.